We got one or two people there that come. We want to steal this chair so I can sit down and work. I got told by Tammy that the government is government. Gotta love government. I work for government one Sunday. They're always late. They're late a dollar short. And so it'll be 11:15 or so when they call. And she'll come get me if she needs me. Which I will probably have to go back there and sit like that. Won't be very long. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to walk you through how to do this. So what we've talked about, did you have a question? Oh, you just hold the pen out. We kind of know, okay, we know maybe for 2019 about where the overall forecast is going to be now. We've got that part, right?
Oh.
So when you look at, and this is Ninth Orthopedics, when you look at your patient days on your budget grid, what does it really tell you?
What the census was it?
It tells you how many patient days they expect you to have overall. Does it tell you anything about what the things we talked about in demand pattern trends? Does it tell you anything about seasonality? Does it tell you anything about secular issues? Are you going up? Are you going down? Does it tell you anything about which day of the week is your highest volume day? No, it doesn't tell you anything about that. So in order to take the next step, before we start building an operational budget next week, A, we got to know how many patients we got to plan for overall. But one of the big problems y'all feel right now on most units is the fact that today it's great, you got enough nurses. Tomorrow you've got the same number of nurses, but census spiked up and you're functionally understaffed against that census, right? And then the next day is different, and the next day is different, and the next day is different. So what you have to understand, and you have to have at your fingertips, is every element of what your demand is doing to you on an annual basis from an overall perspective of what we talked about, on a monthly basis, a daily basis, and then your workload around your admits and your discharges on an hourly basis. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to use Excel very quickly and very simply to set this process up and get it inputted graphically. And then we'll look at your length of stay as well. Okay? Y'all ready? Yours has, that is, oh, it didn't? Oh, how'd that happen?
I mean, Rob, you had a 10-minute too, right?
Right, it's just got,
Go to sheet one.
Just 6-1, 6-1.
yeah.
Go to sheet two. What the heck happened? All right.
Yeah, I didn't have it.
Follow along, because I don't know what happened because I know it was there when I sent it to you.
Are we supposed to have 17, fiscal year 17?
Now, this is all fiscal year 17 data. This is just an example of how to do this. You can go ahead and do this on your 18-year data to date and see what kind of patterns you have. Where did this data come from? Census. Yeah, it comes from the census files that come out that everybody should readily have available. And this is your midnight census. Every day of the week for the last year. All right? So here we go. So we need to know, what did I say, first of all, month, right? So we're going to type a header for month.
Which one are we in, just so I know I'm in the right one?
You're in sheet one, not your arrivals and discharges,
So
but your
FY
2017 data.
Okay.
That is correct.
Because mine opened at 2018.
Sorry. It depends on how I saved it whenever I was
That's okay.
doing this.
Want to make sure I'm
So month, day, okay, for these two files. All right, so how do I know what month? Obviously, we know it's October, right? But I need to categorize this, and what we're doing is I'm setting this up for a pivot table. Have anybody ever used pivot tables? All right, this is going to be super simple, and I'm going to show you how to do this in 5 minutes or less. So we need to know month, but I have to be able to categorize it correctly, because sometimes this comes in, as you see over in your arrival discharges, it comes in a combination string of just a date and a time of arrival, right? I already have this actually set up, so I'm cheating over here a little bit. So what you do is you're going to use a function, okay? So you're going to go equals text, and what text does is it converts numbers and dates, primarily dates, to an equivalent text date.
And write the word text.
You write the word equal text, open your
Okay.
first parenthesis, and then it's gonna ask for a value. You'll see what the setup of the formula is up there where it says value and then format text, right? The value is the cell you want to convert, okay? So I simply point it to that October 1, right? Comma. And then this is how you format the text. So you open with a quotation mark, and we want month, right? So we go M. What M will do is get you the first 3 characters of the month, i.e. OCT, just like it is over here, right? If you type in an extra M, it's going to spell out the entire month. That takes up space. I typically don't do, because when you're doing a day of the week, you got all that extra space in there, okay? So close the quotation mark, close your parenthesis, and hit enter. What you got?
October.
There you go. All right, now I'm gonna center mine up, or put mine right, just so everything kind of lines up. So how do I repeat that for all the cells very quickly in Excel? You can do that, or I can come up here because I'm gonna copy the same function all the way down. See how I put it over the little dot on the bottom right-hand side and made my small cross?
Yes.
Double left tap that. Oh,
What?
oh, hang on.
Double left.
Ah, what did you do?
Double left tap it,
The double left.
and it repeats that all the way down to the end of that string.
Okay, what's double left hand?
Double left, please.
Yeah, double, yeah, sorry.
It's fine.
Double
Okay.
right there and right here. Just double
Oh,
tap
I
that.
was doing it right.
Yep, there you
Okay.
go. See how fast that was?
Yes.
All right,
Uh-oh. I have a feeling I'll be calling you down trying to.
okay, all right. Everybody good so far? You get it, Jason?
The right.
Yep, right here. Double tap right there. No, you have to keep that over that, and then just double tap right there. There you go. Just double tap it quick. You can drag that down, but that's the faster way to do it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm teaching you the fastest shortcut to do it. All right, so now we need to know day. Same process, equals, text, open your parenthesis, go back and point to the same date field, right here. Okay, comma, quotation, now I need to know day. So it'd be DDD. DDD, close the quotation, close the parenthesis, hit enter, and guess what I got?
Wait a minute. I can mess
Whoa.
up.
Whoa.
There we go. What is it? D, and it was DDD.
Let me check something on here. Yeah, let me check something on here. All right, maybe-
Put the DDD between quotations. I'm sorry, I forgot you had to change. I'm sorry.
No, well, that's okay. Sometimes I forget.
I messed this up when I put it in.
You have to go back and highlight that.
Alright, so now that's done.
Christina?
I got it.
Alright.
Now,
So the way to do this and the way to trick it is I've said the first two, right?
And then you can put your mark in, highlight.
Those are the-
Then highlight that.
Oh, it's in November too?
Find that it's the 3rd, 2016.
Did I really? That's cool. Now you know.
These did the same thing.
Start open.
Is yours 2017?
No, it's no.
You're good?
Mm,
Okay.
I'm writing it down.
Okay.
It would be two, right? And then you're gonna put my parentheses.
Yeah, you gotta have parentheses.
Oh, no, it's.
As long as we do it.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Forward, and close parentheses, and a
Right, and then,
There you go.
So,
wait a minute, now,
okay, I'm doing something wrong.
click
Hold on.
into, click on the Sunday cell,
After the B2,
then you know what it's gonna copy, and then hover over it, and then double.
so The comma, that's what it
You have to
was.
separate the different functions.
I just put that
See
on.
where it's right here, follow that format exactly.
Okay, that's
We'll
what,
always
I wasn't putting the comma, so comma,
quotation,
quotations, DDD, quotations,
close.
close,
Double line
parentheses, and hit enter. I didn't put the comma.
There you go.
Crap. Well, that comma,
The
Miss
comma, the
Shelby.
comma in a function separates the operators, what's termed the operators of the function. So it separates which cell you're pointing to versus what you want to do in the conversion of that cell in this instance. Okay? So now you can do the same thing. And copy that down, and now I've got a full year's worth of when that data point occurred, on what day of the week it occurred. In this example, I'm not worried about hour yet. Okay?
Is that right?
Mine did multiple of the same.
Sunday?
Yeah.
I'm
Sunday.
trying to
Okay.
both units
I'm
at
like,
the same
still got Saturday up there.
tax.
Yeah, his does say Sunday.
I'll come back.
But mine say Sunday.
Is it equal?
I gotta figure out what yours is.
Does it make a difference if there's a Sunday and yours?
Yeah, because it's, I messed up whenever I set the dates in 2017.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm gonna show you how to fix it real quick.
Okay.
So go in here to October, change that.
Okay. To
Okay,
16.
now watch. We have the whole thing, change that. All right, I got the first two set. The way you make this work now is, I did two, right?
Mhm.
So go and highlight both. So that what it does is it's telling it to do, to replicate the change all the way down. So now I
Go
go,
to the second one. Do the same.
now if you look at October 3rd, it's 26. Just change your date.
Okay.
So I didn't, I set it at 2017 on accident.
Okay, because I'm like, now we got a different date.
Yeah, when I did it, because it defaulted to last October.
I highlighted it.
All right,
So,
you got it?
okay, let me see if I can show them. That means I know what I'm
Let
doing.
me go check on Tammy. And y'all get caught up.
So.
And when we come back,
Okay, so highlight. So
Hey,
highlight the first.
get her caught up, y'all caught up. When we come back, we're gonna create a pivot chart.
Okay.
And we'll show you how to do that.
Okay, can you get them, see that little thing right there?
Mistake?
It's a little square. We did this one, change that. That one was changed. Now you highlight these two. And I think we get like a, did he get enter?
Where are you at?
When we highlight, we got the little box.
Oh, wow.
Did he hit enter? I put it on, he hit enter. Okay, now check the next one, the third one. See if it's changed. No.
All right, still waiting. How we doing?
Okay, we missing something.
What we got?
So we got the here, she changed those two,
Okay.
1 and 2.
All right, so you wanna change the rest of them?
Right.
Let me see.
Oh, I think.
So what you do to make it work quickly in this instance, when you're building something that goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this does with the dates, you have to do the first two,
Right, she did.
highlight the first two,
Uh-huh.
go down here like that, and then double click.
Oh, double click, we just hit enter, double click.
So what it's done is it's repeated that pattern to change the 2016 date all the way down.
Okay,
And still keep the date.
I think we just hit the wrong key, so.
Yep, double click, got it. All right, is everybody set?
Enter something, she double click. Right, this thing.
Got your month and your day, right?
You just double click on it, on the.
So what are we really after in this?
Double click and double click.
So what, let me ask you this, what's y'all's ADC on your units right now? Okay, 27?
I know I said anything, but it's
Okay. In ortho's data, it's 18 right now, right? It's 18.39 to be exact. It's really sad that I know these to the 100 for whatever reason. But we see intuitively in the data, does every day equal 18? So are there months, where have I shown you in one chart where there's months where they're busy, months that were slow? This is what we're about to create, okay? So what you do with this is, and we're gonna create a month, and we're gonna create a day. So what I want you to do is create a new worksheet by pushing the plus down there. And I'm gonna set
What
it
did you
over
push?
here.
Oh, the plus. The
new worksheet,
The plus.
plus down there at the bottom bar where the worksheets are. Okay, we're gonna leave it right there in that first cell, A1. Got it?
Alright, get to the bottom.
We're gonna go to the Insert tab up on the ribbon. In the
Okay.
top left, we're gonna create a pivot table.
How come I have this table?
Or actually, I'll tell you what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a pivot chart to make this even easier. See where in the center right here where it says pivot chart? We're gonna create a pivot chart.
Mine wrote this, was it, there's no data for
Pivot
it, right?
chart,
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
have any data to grab.
just pivot chart.
Pivot chart, and you're gonna create pivot chart, okay? It's gonna open a box, and it's gonna wanna know the range of the data that we're going to examine, okay? So we go back to our original sheet where the data is, we leave that box open, go back to the original sheet, you notice the box stays right there, and we're going to grab
I can put something in.
these three columns by simply highlighting the entire three columns.
How come, I don't know.
Let's see what you got.
This
I
pivot
did
table,
create
the same as
pivot.
pivot chart.
Yeah, just that one.
Oh, I mean, so that just automatically filled it or something?
Yeah, you may have touched something. Go up there and highlight those entire three columns.
It's just the top.
Yeah, just hold it and drag over. There you go. Let go. Now notice it says FY17,
Okay,
C through E.
so it said that, but I just didn't,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay?
Alright,
Now we've already set where we're going to place this pivot chart. Down below where it says choose where you want the pivot chart to be placed, it defaulted to where you started in that other sheet in A1, right? So leave that alone.
Quick question, so when I switch back over to the other sheet, it pulled up FY17 data?
That's correct.
Okay,
Yep, now what you gotta do is highlight these three columns.
okay.
So go up to the C, start with the C, right there. Now hold your left arrow and highlight all three columns. There you go, turn loose. There you go,
Okay.
there you go. All right, everybody got it there?
okay.
Okay. Okay, now hit okay.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Now,
We've got the
ready?
same thing.
All right, stay right there.
Right one, I got the right one that gives like,
Okay.
so I feel like I need to take Microsoft Excel.
Right? Yeah, that's where you highlight, go back to your original.
You highlight the three
So we need to go to Microsoft.
So we can lean on each other.
We need to go.
All right.
I video.
Highlight